In this video, I'm going to answer all your questions about how to grow an avocado from a seed. So a couple years ago, I did a video about growing an avocado from a seed and the process I went through, and you had tons of comments and tons of questions. So I have them written down, and I'm going to go through what I learned and explain some of the things that I was trying to tell in that video that I must not have got across clearly enough. So by far the biggest comment I got, which was tips from you guys about growing an avocado, was when you take the seed out of the avocado, don't immediately try to put it in water and grow it. What you have to do is wait 2 to 3 days, and this outer shell will get hard and brown, and you peel that off. Tons of people had comments saying if you let it dry out, peel that outer casing off, you'll have much better success growing a plant from that seed. So that's the number one tip that I learned from your guys' comments. Another comment you guys suggested was the heavier the seed, the better. I told in the previous video we had some organic seeds and some smaller seeds and larger seeds, and I didn't really see a correlation. A lot of people said that the larger the seed, the better. And I have a bunch more growing here that we've grown over the winter. And I have to agree, some of the larger seeds really crack open, and they do grow more often from the 20 or 30 samples I've grown. The biggest thing that I've learned is heat. You need heat to get these to grow. So in the winter, we'll cut open an avocado, put the seed by the window, the same as I always do. But if the window is cold, these won't grow, these won't split open. But I've been keeping these in the basement down by our furnace during the winter. 6 out of the 7 seeds have grown. They weren't growing when I left them by the window, but I moved them down here where it was much hotter, and they've grown really well. If it's summertime or warm where you live, put them by a warm window. The method that I use is I put them on these seed holders that I 3D print, and I'll get to these later. Tons of people said, where can I get those seed holders? And I'll talk about that later. But I put those in a cup. I set them on there, and I set it in the water, so they are partially submerged in the water. And I could show you here on this one too. There's the seed holder, and you can print these if you have a 3D printer, which you probably don't. You can print these any size, and they hold the seed partially submerged, so it's halfway submerged in water. There's other methods you can do. Another comment you had on the previous video, a lot of people said, was I had the seed upside down. So I was trying to grow it top pointing down. And in case you're wondering, the bottom of the seed is the one with the ring on it. The top is the pointy end. So the pointy end has to be up. On one of the seeds I was growing, I had the pointy end down. Not all of them are obvious. So here's a seed that's, you could tell the pointy end is the top here. This one's quite round, but you just look at the ring. The ring part is where the root comes out. You put that on the bottom. Another suggestion someone had was don't let the seeds get black and grimy and dirty. Obviously, I haven't cleaned some of these off. They're still black and grimy and dirty, but they're still growing. But they said you could scrub them and clean them. Another big thing that I've done and people have commented is how often do you change the water in these cups? After a couple weeks or so, it'll get brown. The water won't be clear. Some people said you could change it every week. I found every couple weeks, every month. You want to change it depending on the color of the water. You can see some of these are quite brown, other ones are quite clear. So if it's starting to get brown, just dump it out and put clean water, and that might be a good time to clean the seed off as well too. In the previous video I mentioned these seeds take a lot longer to sprout than I thought. I thought it would be a couple days, maybe a week or two, and you'd see a root, they'd split open. It's months. So these have been here. I have some of these that have really good roots, like that one. These have been down here for a couple months. Now, mind you, it's the winter, and it's been in a basement. I think it would be doing much better if it was 80 degrees and outside in the sun. But these have been here for a few months, and it's taken a few months to split open and the roots to grow. So time. I said heat earlier. Time. You got to give them a lot of time to get the root open. One really good comment I saw was somebody said once the roots get like this, you can slowly start adding dirt, because eventually you're going to plant these. You don't want a full root and a full stem and a full plant growing in the water. All that energy is coming from the seed. What you can do is once you get that root, you can start adding good dirt in there, and eventually your cup will be replaced with water. It'll be dirt. You can take the seed holder out and you're good to transplant it into your yard. Another comment somebody had that they said I had great success was cutting the bottom third of the seed off. I only heard one or two people suggest that. I don't know if it's true, but it's a thought if you're having issues with the root coming out. The biggest question or the biggest comment people said was, where can you get those seed holders? So these are the seed holders that I 3D printed from a free design online. Now, there's lots of designs that people have drawn. I've printed a lot of them. Here's one that floats. So this will float in water and the seed will sit in it. If you go on Amazon, you will not be able to find these. These are not available on Amazon. The only thing that's on there are these boats, these little floating boats that float in water, and they're like 12 bucks. So I'm going to do another video talking about all these seed holders. I was thinking about, tons of people had suggestions, you should make them, where can I buy them? So I was actually thinking of trying to make these, not 3D printing, but injection molding. And I'm going to do another video talking about all these seed holders. But just know that you can get ones that float or ones that I like that fit right in the cup. There's advantages and disadvantages. The floating ones, you need a big bowl and it takes up a lot of room. These are a lot smaller. You can put it in a small cup like that and it works fine. These you have to add water. These take up more room, but they will rise as the water evaporates, they will go with it. So I've printed all different designs and sizes, and these really work great, and I can fit a whole bunch of them if you're growing a lot in a nice small area. You can see there's 4 right there, as opposed to if you're trying to do one of these floating boat methods. Sometimes the seeds sink. You can see that thing's about to sink right now, and that bowl takes up as much room as 4 cups. So I like the cups. I like to put them by the window, but any method will work. You just have to get that root started and then start adding dirt. So I hope that answers some of your questions. The only big one that I said I'll do in another video is all these different seed holders and where to get them and how to make them. But I hope that answers some of the questions you were having in the previous video, and let me know what you think. Let me know how, what you use to get these seeds growing, and good luck. Thanks. Well, I hope you liked the video you just watched. If you did, feel free to subscribe by clicking the button on this side. You can also check out all the videos I've done, the playlist from things I've built, things I've fixed, home repair, 3D printing, and on this side you can check out a recommended video similar to the one you just watched. And as always, down in the description I'll put a link to my blog, which has more pictures and more information about the video you just watched. Thanks.